really didn't know where to start today. The news over the last 24 hours was strange, to say the very least. But then one resounding article came out. It put a smile on my face because the Democrats are put on notice. And beware, because Trump just did what no other president has ever done in the history of our nation. I know, you're probably curious as to what. We're going to get there rather quickly, but I want to cover that strange element of things happening, the evil element of things happening. So later on at Restricted Republic, we're going to be presenting as exclusive material, military utilizes Satan to reinforce, well, something you can't say here. The devil's in the details of a shocking presentation exposed by Tucker and astounding, but not surprising. You see, the move of evil into our military, into our government hasn't stopped. It's accelerated. All their intention is to remove God from everything. We know that's going to happen. So it should be no surprise. So if you haven't been restricted, we invite you to go over there now. Again, as you've seen flashing on your screen, this is just a portion of the video catalog, the exclusive content growing daily. And right now I got a special offer for you. That offer is 3-year $50. We're going to reduce our annual rate from around $80 down to $50 each year for the next 3 years. We invite you to get to Restricted Republic. We promise once you do, you will go nowhere else for the news that matters. But now let's get back to this broadcast. So many of you may have seen the headline, Trump with spat of 2022 endorsements, goes where no former president has gone before. This all leading into the midterms, as you're very well aware, calling him the GOP kingmaker. Now, the article went on to state the former president, 8 months removed from the White House, remains extremely popular and influential with Republican voters and politicians as he aims to continue playing a kingmaker's role in the GOP. And as Trump repeatedly flirts with another White House run in 2024, all but saying that he will do that now, thanks to this recent series of endorsements, he's now backed nearly 40 Republicans running in elections this year and next year, from statewide races such as senator and governor to down-ballot contests. President Trump's endorsement is the most powerful and sought-after endorsement in the history of American politics. It's a huge statement. He will continue to identify and support strong candidates who advocate for his America First agenda in Congress and state houses across the nation. You remember many of these endorsements as we moved along, but of course the Democrats aren't happy about this. They say he's only endorsing those that endorsed him and that supported, his role in January 6th events, and going against those that voted to impeach him, specifically 10 House Republicans. And they give an example, endorsing that challenger against longtime Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, the only one of 7 GOP senators who voted to convict Trump in February's impeachment trial. They go on, while Trump's endorsements, for better or worse, immediately impact the 2022 race, they also see an ulterior motive. It seems clear Mr. Trump is playing the role of kingmaker in a way that ensures he has allies in place should he make a run again for president. Our answer to that would be, of course he is. Why wouldn't he put allies in place to assure a potential run for presidency results in a bigger support base to achieve his goal to win as president? It's amazing the mainstream media tries to actually make that sound like a bad thing, an unusual thing, an awkward thing, but everything they've called him and us, that should lead to no surprise. Because we're in a country of disarray. McCarthy on Dems' spending bill, the amount of money we spent to win World War II, an astounding number. He's talking about these recent spending packages, arguing that $1 trillion Senate passed bipartisan infrastructure bill and the $3.5 trillion social spending plan would total the amount of money we spent to win in World War II. Now potentially resulting in a government shutdown, but now Sinema and Manchin are resistant. And they're joining forces almost with Cruz and a few like him to assure that this government shutdown in some ways does happen, which we here at Restricted Republic actually believe would be a wonderful thing. Because if all you're going to do is keep spending us into debt, then why do we need you? What are you doing? Nothing but lining your own pockets, your own coffers, and filling your own agendas. Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema and Western Virginia Senator Joe Manchin are two Democrats that refuse to sign on board with the radical legislation laid out by the increasingly radical Democratic Party. And as the left's frustrations grow with them, the admiration from everyone else in America grows as well. And, mine certainly does. Those two were standouts we didn't think we'd have, but thankfully we do. But that's not the only shocking turn of events over the last few days. Adam Schiff calls for investigation into Joe Biden. People cheered and said, wow, Adam Schiff's turned a corner. Oh my gosh, he's betrayed Biden. Don't think for a minute he has. He's assuring the trial is controlled and that no information ever comes out and it results in nothing. So, sorry to break the hearts of those that actually thought that Adam Schiff would turn the corner and betray the Democrats. That's simply never going to happen. If you followed Adam Schiff long enough, you know that. But that didn't stop the articles from coming out one after another. Adam Schiff calls for investigation into Joe Biden. But you see, that's not the real story. No, the real story is Trump is playing kingmaker. The Democrats are going to force a shutdown without GOP support, and I hope GOP gives them no support. I think the entire burden of all their spending should remain on the shoulders of the Democrats. There should be no way out of this or around this, no matter what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer want, because they're trying to attempt to pigeonhole the Republicans into joining that support base. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California and Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer of New York announced they would seek to suspend the debt ceiling until the end of December 2020. They also said they will link the move to a broader stopgap funding bill meant to keep the government afloat until at least the end of the year. Republicans say Democrats should unilaterally suspend the cap on the debt ceiling, a limit of how much the government can borrow to pay for federal expenditures. Now, what's your thought on that? I wish the GOP would actually do that, but they've shown no propensity to do that whatsoever. Now, the Democrats are intent on just continuing this reckless spending spree, destroying America, assuring that they are getting exactly their redistribution of wealth, which that's all this is. It's exactly what we've told you is ongoing. And as the Washington Times declared, despite the fact the Democrats have total control of Washington and can raise the debt ceiling on their own, they are playing political games with the debt ceiling to assure they don't look guilty. Well, guilty as charged, because they are the ones who are responsible for the rapid increase in debt. And we wonder why. We wonder why. They're so worried that President Trump will continue his run into his candidacy. And of course he should be building every single ally he can find, because without him, he doesn't have a chance. So that's not a surprise. That's a strategy, of which he's proven before. His strategy can overcome great adversity. What's your thought? Will he or won't he? We look forward to your comments. Please help me share the video. Get over to Restrict the Republic, and we'll show you exactly how evil is again permeating every level of government, and now it is fully being reinforced in the military, because to say it wasn't there before would be an inaccurate statement. We love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.